See what carrier is going to pick up. Can go towards, just win lane, win game if they'd like to pick up a ranged support, but instead it's going to be the Alistar, something that he's had phenomenal success on, but isn't going to give them a whole lot of laning power in the very early game.
Yeah, it's a trade-off of how strong Alistar is into Rel and some of the Rel engages and how you can just straight up deny. You can even deny Nefiri engages if played correctly really well with this pick. But yeah, the trade-off is the laning phase, especially into a Corki, is going to be very tricky to pilot. And when you already have two potentially winning lanes in top lane and mid lane for DRX here, nameplate's off here. I feel like this draft for DRX really does feel quite strong. T1 though, nameplates are on. It's Faker's here. It's Doran on the
Surely
rumble.
whittle you down and destroy you. They've done it in the past. We'll see whether they can do it again. All right, we are on the T1 side of LoL Park, so obviously the fan chants were the same volume, weren't they, Wolf? It's a bit confusing because of proximity for me.
Strangely enough, when I look over at the DRX side, it looks very red as well.
Huh.
Just because there's a lot
No,
of
that's the CGV cups.
Ah, that was it. Okay.
That's what you can see. Otherwise,
they wear the cups now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cups have zippers. And Aurora can win out those trades early as level 2 for Keria.
Yeah, gets a pulverize here. It's Deadly Flourish out, and Andil is in trouble. Lit on fire here. Holds the flash until the last second. But yeah, he's not laning too much anymore. We'll see how Teddy's going to be able to survive this.
Does have his potion, which will help him.
Yeah, it's pretty good at this stage of the game when you don't have very much health. So, and without too many things that you've put that much mastery into, he was already good at it at that time. Is now Yukao closing the gap yet again. Another Electrocute proc. He only needs to hit another ability and a half, and he will be able to take down Faker. And in the end, is able to deny a cannon.
Yeah, the timing of this as well when Faker's trying to get that cannon, the wave is far away from him, can't do anything, and has to back and teleport so early, while Yukao is still extremely healthy, as well as mana healthy, means that Yukao could potentially look to do this again. Now, here comes Owner and Keria.
I think Yukao may need to use some abilities. He flashes, Sponge is here, but Yukao is really dead. That is going to be first blood going over to Owner. And just a little greedy is good old Yukao, even using the flash.
You've been in this league for so long. You know, you took a little break, but the Faker taunt got you really.
It's not even a Faker taunt. It's the minion taunt as much as he can. Doran has got the equalizer though, right as these grubs are spawning, but he's in the bottom lane without teleport, so never mind. That's not going to really pay too much of a difference here, as Owner now in trouble. Only level 5 as Sponge goes untargetable, but Owner's very targetable. It's Yukao that grabs that kill here as Keria has to get out of there, and these grubs belong to DRX.
Yeah, if Owner had ult, the situation looks totally different, but at level 5, that's simply not available, and he is just completely blasted to death. And that is a kill on the board here for DRX, but as you mentioned, arguably more importantly, grubs going over as well. Denying grubs from an Azir always feels really good.
And now the equalizer is coming down. Andil gets out of the way of it. Him and Teddy running away from one rumble is a little bit of a worry, but there was an Alistar waiting in the wings. So I think right to play it safe.
Feels really good if you are the solo top laner into the bottom duo and you're winning out.
Oh, Keria going for it once again here as Yukao trying to use his wall here and does manage to do so in the end. Even Keria taking a lot of damage in trade. Now the Drake has been started.
It's just so tough without the Aurora ult to make a fight happen here.
Yeah. Doran now Sponge throwing some daggers around. Doran was on the mind because he's in the top lane without equalizer available. So won't be able to affect this fight here as Yukao once again softening up Keria. He's only level 4 as that's a steal from Sponge. And Owner now trying to get out of there, but I don't know whether he's going to be able to. They just close the gap on that Crescent Guard as Faker looks for the Emperor's Divide. He gets it. Sponge goes untargetable, flashes from Keria. Keria will be taken down. It's Andil that gets the kill, but now he's right on top of this teleport. The curtains, they've been called, doesn't land onto Sponge for the last bullet, and it's highway robbery!
And Doran TP's in for nothing! And Teddy's up here going, thanks for the freebie! Is Sponge the best Nefiri in the LCK?
Maybe. Oh, 100%. Sponge, absolutely fantastically played, but Keria almost killed. Like, if Sponge hadn't have flashed that headbutt pole, that would have been like one of the classic Keria God plays, you know? Gets the 3-man knock-up, then all of the AoE is layered, Doran might actually get there in time. Oh, it's a bit of an unfortunate situation. 4 grubs now for DRX as well.
Yeah, they get Dragon. They're looking for more.
Well, Carrier only level 5 here. And Sponge still trying to keep it interesting, but T1 should be able to get 2 of them. Good untargetable there as Andal. He's got other things on his mind. Shattering Strike comes down as Doran uses a very defensive ultimate. Yukao still doing a lot of damage though, as we can see, as Sponge is just bouncing around the rift. Another teleport to come in, this time from Faker. And Rich has followed suit, looking for an angle here as this scuffle will continue. Faker bleeding for now, but it's Andal that's the target, and he will be taken down immediately. It's traded, though, as Owner. That's a phenomenal ult, but I think he's still dead. The bleed is ticking, and he's still going to be taken out. That is a Yukao with a double. And this Aurora is going to be mega fed this game.
I remember, too, at the beginning of the fight, Yukao had an opportunity to ult to kill Doran and decided not to use it because he knew there was higher value.
Yukao.
What a sick play there from Yukao as well.
Is this 2018 LCK Summer Champion Yukao?
It seems like it. And, I mean, with how well Sponge is playing this early game, too, DRX looking fantastic. Another plate is going to go over, but yeah, Yukao holds his ult.
Some of these resets in these fights as well. You can see 003 now does have his Eclipse completed. And the Nefiri doing what it says on the tin, or what we expected the tin to say.
That's what I was told was on the tin.
Yeah. The tins have been a little bit weird. Maybe it's just baked beans sometimes. As now Andal finds himself a cow. Carrier still level 5. And Andal has that Magnet Storm available. They're not going to be using it right now, but this... Oh, Yukao's going to basically be behind Faker.
Look at Yukao's gold lead.
Yeah.
At even CS, so 3 kills now, first brick.
And full local gold for first brick. There it goes.
Yeah.
Now 1.5. And yes, they're winning now, but it's only by 1.2, so...
Small victories.
We're singing their praises while we can. Well, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, and we'll see if that continues to be singable. For the moment, though, T1 in a really nice position. Carrier blocking the entry here.
I've seen this one before. Sponge looking for another heist angle. He is in the pit. Owner is going to spot him out. These daggers are not connecting. Rich on that flank angle, but he's on that ward. And headbutt out. No Magnet Storm for you, Andal. Still Carrier taking a lot of damage. That is going to be the Drake going over to Owner. Somehow that Shock Blast is actually going to miss. That's going to force Rich to flash away. Some decent damage here from the Between Worlds, but the answering Deadly Flourish is too good. And there is the shutdown. Straight over to the GOAT as T1. They'll take the Drake and a whole bunch more.
That was definitely a Yukao moment. Bit of an ambitious play. Sometimes they work out, and often they end up not working out and backfiring in a big way, and Owner re-engages and can follow up on that. Yukao ults that group instead of ulting here. And I think at this point, the fight is clearly over.
Well, there's an Emperor's Divide. Rich cannot go to the skies because he's been to the skies recently. Yukao is going to come down and see what he can do here as Doran is dead. Faker is under the turret, sets up his own, but I think Yukao will have enough damage to finish this off. It's going to take a bit of time as he flashes as well. Finally, the auto comes in, and that's a double kill for the guy that just died. I think that's pretty good reparations.
And then
there.
Faker kills the turret, sets up the Sun Disc, but unfortunately, there's just not enough time to survive here, even with Yukao taking that turret aggro. Doesn't do that much damage.
Yeah, getting the bone plating at the right timing there as well for Faker keeps him alive for that one extra auto attack, but the Sun Disc doesn't do enough. So throwing his daggers, both of them into Owner, that bleed. That nerf needs to come in because it just feels like it does a whole lot. Not going to be able to find that dagger. There, though, is Deadly Flourish now onto Teddy. He's going to have to get out of here. Does use the barrier. And Sponge tanking a few of these shots up. And my God. Welcome back, Guma. He's doing a fair bit of damage here on his Jhin. As Rich, with that W in range form, will be able to do a fair bit of work to this turret, but not if Doran turns up, clears out the wave and the Jace at the same time. We'll see what he does decide to build in. Just feels a little bit like he just doesn't quite know which direction he wants to go in, but hitting shots from a long way away is something that's going to work out relatively well. Charge from the Rift Herald trying to come in here, and that is going to successfully happen. It doesn't do too much more than that.
He has been hitting a lot of shots so far. There's secured too many eliminations just yet, but they have some river vision. I think he certainly can commit to it.
Yeah, he's pinging, and Andal is going to get headbutt pulled. Will need to get out of here, I think, and does do so. T1 will let him live for the minute. Speaking of letting things live, Rich is going to not let the turret live. We'll take that one down. The rest of T1 a little bit slow in the rotation, won't be able to stop the Jace.
Rich as well with the Shojin first and Swifties with the tier online, so he's going to go for the Burm on a second. Seen this, yeah, seen this a little bit more recently, but very different from the tank builds of Jace we were watching a lot earlier this year.
Yeah, the Drake going to be taken here by T1. That's going to be their prize after they do push Rich away. I think that this might be able to work. We'll just have to see right now. Andal once I've seen this one before.
They keep almost killing him.
Yeah, he's going to crash down over that wall again after the ignite comes in, but this time Owner is going to follow. He presses ult, wind becomes lightning, bullets become attached to Teddy, and Andal's going to walk his way out. So ultimately it is just the same result. Minute and a half on the Chemtech Drake. But there is also a Baron coming up. This is Yukal. Oh, there's another headbutt ball. Carrier really wanted to pick up player of the match today, and I'll give it to him. That's going to be Owner taking down the kill off the back of the cow.
It's just on a ward there, and now they can get whatever they want. They want Herald, they want Otacon, they want this top turret. They're going to start with Otacon, which is a bit of a scary choice.
Flanking. Carrier coming in, looking for it again. As Sponge going untargetable. Rich with some shock blast angles potentially. That equalizer, great spot, but Faker just wipes them off it. Andal trying to stay alive, and he will fail.
Teddy coming up here. Rich has this turret to play through.
Oh, God. Well, can the shock blast actually land? That's the question. The answer is no, because he's going to be dead. Carrier diving in one more time, and the doggo's on the ground. Teddy, another one of these doggos, is going to be in a bit of trouble as Carrier is down to 1 health, but he is still able to walk his way out. The flash comes in from Teddy, and that should still keep him alive. Okay, Yukal's flashing forward, does manage to take down the jungler. That might mean that Otacon is going to be okay. Deadly Flourish coming on in here as the 1-2 punch, and it's a double! Teddy, I don't know about that one though. The captive audience goes off, and I think Teddy knew that he was dead. Guma just comes on over and punishes. Andal's back up one more time.
I mean, that guarantees there's no real ability to actually Otacon without a jungler. You know, they had a lot of damage there, but taking Teddy out does give his life for it, and we reset.
Well, Andal crashing forward, and the curtains, they have been called. Andal, I mean, he's just dead. Sand Soldiers will take him down. Sponge a little bit late on that on-targetability, but it might be enough to get himself out of there.
I mean, the fact that T1 has so much vision control over this river right now means that DRX feel compelled to kind of keep trickling in and checking and trying to find some information. There's so many objectives to take.
Oh, the Baron.
Oh, it's a T1 Baron. It's 27 minutes in, but it feels a little bit early.
Well, Guma is trying to follow up on the engage there from Carrier as Teddy gets over this wall, I believe unbeknownst, as he's now spotted.
Yukal is still big.
Oh, okay. Carrier is going to try and get in there. Sponge going untargetable. Emperor's Divide is going to throw Yukal in. He pops on over as Carrier likely to go down, but I think that's a decent trade. They've taken down the jungler as well. Not sure what Teddy was doing. And now Owner is going to be able to transition this into a Baron. Somehow it worked. I have no idea how that all sort of worked into itself, but it's, I mean, T1, I guess, calculated.
I mean, there's just so many objectives to take. There was not a lot of vision for DRX, but I think they really liked that game, Lemmings. Do you remember that game where multiple kills worth of gold, and what was a 1,000 gold lead for T1 is now a 5,000 gold lead?
Yeah, I think they might also be getting another one, as that was really cute from Rich. Nice flash, avoids the headbutt pole, but still, T1 with all of the control of this map that they would like. Owner going to be able to move on over here and look to take down the red buff, and he will be able to successfully do that as well. Deadly Flourish avoided by Sponge, but man,
I mean, T1 are just the kings of objectives. They're so good at setting up on them, playing around vision, looking for turns. DRX fell right into their trap, and what looked like a fairly risky Baron really wasn't with the control they had, and I mean, I don't know if they might just win the game off this.
Well, Owner once again going in, gets the knock up, and down goes the doggo. The curtains have been called, and it may just be curtains on this game. Faker picking up a kill to start this one off. Carrier tanking as much as he would like. Remember, they have the withdraws at the same time, as Guma not quite able to land that one, but he flashes forward, and that should finish off the kill onto Rich. Doran realizing that a whole bunch of his buddies are no longer here. Owner not going to actually get recalled because he did have a GA. He's got 3 items. This Xin Zhao is so incredibly large. They take the inner turret, and they're going to break open the base.
Yeah, Doran's just looking to grab an inhibitor. Dodges the initial CC. Faker has the follow-up ult, and that is a dead dog.
Oh, man.
And I guess all dogs go to heaven, but T1 is looking to send them there again. I mean, look, with the withdrawals that they have, there's like no loss here. There's no reason not to go in. And that they did. Now they're almost 10,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, this is all of a sudden an extraordinary blowout. And it all happened off the back end of that Arakan Baron play. T1 just controlling the map so well. And Faker now looking for an opportunity onto UCal. Deadly Flourish connecting somehow. I didn't even see that. Double Pulverize comes through from Carrier. The layering of the Equalizer is not quite enough, but that doesn't matter. I don't know about the ulti there from UCal, but I think he was just really scared. And who would blame him as T1 are bearing down on the base of DRX. It was a decent try. The early game was okay. UCal kind of got fed, and then it mattered about zero.
T1 are just so good at playing the map, so good at playing around vision. Their coordination is matched by very few teams in the world as Teddy is trying to hold the wave. He's dead.
I mean, he might actually kill both of them. Doran comes in with a scrap shield, so he's not going to die, as Faker was almost bleeding to death, but he's got some honey fruit here.
And I mean, when you look at how this game really turned on its head, it's just a few.
This Xin Zhao is a huge problem. Owner is so incredibly good at this champion. It's good to see that what we were saying earlier on is kind of exemplified by the way that he's played this one out so far. And welcome back, GUMAYUSI. After 3 months of not playing, this guy is looking real good. Has augmented those first couple of items that felt underwhelming with an Infinity Edge and a Lord Dom. So he's doing plenty of damage now. Doran might need to be a little bit careful, I guess, but maybe he also doesn't, as Owner goes in, almost 3 taps. Sponge gets in another couple, and Faker is the one that actually finishes it off in the end. Equalizer just to celebrate, as Carrier looking for a bit of an angle here. He'll be able to get there, and my God, the damage of this Xin Zhao is obscene. And it's actually GUMAYUSI that finishes off a bunch of these kills. Doran, maybe move a little bit further out so you don't die to the Nexus turrets, but it doesn't matter. It's an ace. That's going to be the Nexus going down, and T1 in their first game looking pretty good.
There were some